I'm Katie Marske. I'm at the University of Oklahoma, and I'm interested in comparative and community phylogeography. And the exciting thing about comparative phylogeography is that you're basically telling secrets, looking at things that are invisible when you look at the environment. What I'm particularly interested in is taking these spatial genetic patterns and integrating it with community ecology to think about ways that this historical contingency that we can see with the DNA is reflected in patterns of contemporary community structure, how this relates to community assembly and the evolution of regional species pools. And I'm also just interested in how do we use comparative phylogeography to think about communities? Because a lot of times when we're talking about comparative, we're looking at do these species have similar or different genetic histories to each other. With communities, that's not necessarily, we don't necessarily have that expectation that they should. And so thinking about how to frame the idea, frame our questions slightly differently is something that I'm really interested in. And I'm also very recently become interested in the relationship between species and genetic diversity. And there are certain expectations we have for why these should and should not be correlated. And history can kind of throw a spanner in that sometimes. And so how does history reflect our expectations for diversity at different taxonomic levels? I'm working in kind of with three different study systems. One is more, I like to use synthetic data sets. So right now I'm working with North American amphibians, thinking about a slightly bigger data approach, but I'm also restarting my work in New Zealand, which is a fantastic place to think about these things because it's basically a mini continent. You can look at a whole bunch of different dynamics in a space that you can actually sample over the course of a couple of field seasons. And I'm also building up a new research project in the Washington National Forest on the border of Oklahoma and Arkansas. Both of these projects, New Zealand and the local one, involve saprophilic beetles. And looking at richness and kind of these groups that are invisible to most people, because most of us are not out there digging around on the grounds looking for the invisible things. And so in addition to the phylogeographic aspect, thinking about how the past and the present are related to each other, I'm also interested in a potential side future project at the Insectageddon, which it's now predicted that we are in, and so thinking about trying to develop sampling protocols that will give us long-term data for monitoring these regions. And I would like some grad students, so if any of you have any really awesome undergrads